Well, welcome to Stalybridge. It has a distinction of falling partially onto the old boundaries into Cheshire and Lancashire, but it's under the coverage of Greater Manchester, which means that the elected mayor, currently Andy Burnham, rules here overall as well. I do have to be honest, when I first arrived, my first thoughts were to nip back on the train and go 3 miles up the road to the hometown of the current Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner. That's Ashton-under-Lyne. But I did spy some nice buildings and other bits and pieces while awaiting the return train, and came for a wander around the town, and I think I'll stay and let's have a look and see what we can find. Are you with me? There we go, a Guinness World Record holder, the pub with the shortest name in the UK, and it's beside, well, bar liquid, yeah, bar none. And I'm ashamed to admit that I actually managed to walk past the longest pub name in the world, also located in Stalybridge, the Old 13th Cheshire Astley Volunteer Riflemen's Corps Inn. Well, back to the 80s. This establishment seems to have gone well and truly back to the 80s, unfortunately. And then I was misled. I was told to come to the White House to meet the president, but I don't think he's in. And an interesting building over there. I have no idea what this wonderful edifice is, and I can't find anybody to ask, unfortunately. I wonder if I came by TARDIS somehow. I know the place is closed, but they've discontinued 061, in other words, no 01 numbers. That big change was in 1995. Heavens, somebody help me. I don't wish to be a negative Nigel. Name's not Nigel, by the way. But everything seems to be closed and shut at this end of the town. I mean, looking behind me, all these premises just closed. Even the community convenience store is closed. Sykes, Gino's, you get your hair done there. Downtown desserts. Well, of course, I think that might be a bit early. And although the taxi office, Zoom, spelt with an X, great, helps me follow my fascination for people spelling things completely wrongly. And oh, nice archway. Let's go and have a look. I have to stand to be corrected, but I think that might be the old entrance to the town hall, which has moved to another location. And everybody sing underneath the arches. Yes, the arches seem to be a little mini amphitheatre. Oh, that's very cute. I suppose in the winter you get Coldplay and the Icicle Works. Quick look at the blue plate, and just to keep my viewer happy who says they can't read it, it's Joseph Rayner Stevens, who was a Chartist leader who campaigned against the Poor Law and for factory reform. And on the other side, it's commemorating the first general strike of 1842, which originated in this area. They were known as the Plug Riots. Oh, and you have to have foreboding mystery steps. Shall I investigate? Go on, yeah, let's have a look. Reaching the summit. Are you ready for the excitement that probably prevails? Let's have a look. Oh, it's a main road. Pennine Hills in the distance. And what's up this way? Well, another road. Let's pack that in and go back down. As Peter Kay would say, Thorch way from the back. Oh, and have a look at that winged statue in the distance in a moment. Another local, very friendly lady just informed me that you see the top work here on top of these shops? That's all repurposed. In other words, reused stuff from the old original town hall, the archway of which we saw just a few moments ago. There's a lovely memorial area here, complete with a little garden, which is beautiful. And lions on there. And a very nicely painted May their deeds be held in reverence. Nicely painted shield. I'd love to introduce you to Frank. I've just met him. He's going to tell me about this little area that I just discovered, and it's absolutely fascinating. I'll hand over to Frank and we'll have a look as we go now.
Hi everybody. I'd like to introduce you to the War Memorial of Stalybridge. It's split into two parts. Across the road, we're on Trinity Street here, and across the way there's about 350 gents from World War One.
Over there. And there's the one across the road that Frank was telling us about. Right, we'll get back to the story now and let Frank continue because he's got places to be.
What happened is that I've done research on all these lads, but in conjunction with another lady called Kate Booth, we found out that in World War One we have just short of 300 missing members.
Oh, goodness.
What we can associate with Stalybridge, either they were born in Stalybridge and moved away, or they've been infiltrated or moved to Canada, etc. And so we formed this charity called Friends of Stalybridge War Memorial, and the idea is to get an extension. And if we can just zoom across to, and here you can, this is the proposed area of where the memorial is going to be extended to incorporate the 300
goodness
300.
me, for a small town like this.
Yeah, and I've also found, done World War II, and I've found 25 up to now that are missing. So we've got quite a bit of work to do. Here, which has got Flanders, Gallipoli, Salonika, Italy and Southwest Africa. That was where the original memorial terminated, and the lion that you could see at the far end was actually on this pedestal, and the extension for World War II, when that was built, they removed the lion and put it at the end, so we've got lions at both ends. The idea of building it here is we're right on the River Tame, and it was virtually to take, if you like, it links all the soldiers here.
We're just over the road now with Frank, and he's going to do a little bit of explaining just for a second while we pan around.
Yeah, this is the something that we've put into this little garden of remembrance to commemorate the missing men of Stalybridge, and so that's it. On Remembrance Sunday, we can get around 5,000 people here.
Really? In a small town like this? That's brilliant. That's wonderful.
The crowd goes right up to the top of the road here.
Nicely kept ironwork on the Victoria Bridge, and this crosses the River Tame, which does make sense really, because being in Tameside it would be silly calling it the Thames. And just beside we've got the side of the post office and the library. We'll have a quick look at the front of that because it's quite imposing. Yes, my pet subject, architecture. Let's spin along and have a look. Imposing building it looks too. I'll cross the road and get a better view. There we go, the post office building. And that's next to the Cheetham Public Library, where Frank's just going to take me in to show the Book of Honour that the page is turned every day.
Every day. So
this is the Book of Remembrance that Frank is just kindly showing me in Cheetham's library, the main library in the centre of the town. And not one, but two blue plates. This is Sergeant William Booth, a very decorated military man, and then the plate down below is the Right Honourable John Frederick Cheetham, and he was an MP and born in Stalybridge, and hence you can see yourself. I'll just linger for a few minutes for those that you can read it. Very keen on literary and donating things to his local hometown. I have to say what an honour and a delight it was to meet Frank as he took me through the information with regards to the veterans and the memorial. It's so lovely that We still have people around in the UK like Frank who selflessly devote themselves to preserving the memory of those who gave their lives in the various conflicts over the past. Frank, I salute you. There's a fine old building now being used for solicitation. The back of the House of Solicitations, very impressive archway door thing. And this former boys and girls school is now medical centre. Little bit of weedery at the very top growing. And the girls' side of the old school. Another interesting old building architecture-wise. 1904 it says it was constructed. Just spied a real traditional printers. The old machines you can just see in there. Well, they're not so old. I mean, people still produce magazines on them. This is the very imposing market hall. It's Monday, so it's closed, and the parish church just to the right there. Sadly, it's closed, it being Monday. Very, very imposing. But now, are you ready to gird yourselves? Are you ready? Brace yourselves, because this is a statue of Jack Judge. And what did Jack Judge do? Well, he wrote during the interval of something, a little ditty called It's a Long Way to Tipperary. Yes, written in the town of Stalybridge. We'll go and have a look at his blue plate on the site of the former theatre where he wrote it. And the parish church in the centre of the town. A very nice, simply designed church. Not that I'd be able to do it myself. And very surprisingly, that's rather modern. And there we go, one long way to Tipperary plaque. Been to Tipperary, County Tipperary, a few times to be quite honest. It's a long way if you're walking, actually even if you're driving. And there's some blurb here, but I'm not going to linger too long because you won't be able to read it, but they still do take it very seriously. And, well, why wouldn't you? Such a famous song. I have been reliably informed that, as you can see, a lot of the shops are closed. But the reason for this is that Monday is closed day in Stalybridge. So we can't really blame the council for high rates or landlords for high rents. It's not their fault. And here we have vestiges of the Huddersfield Canal. And the other side. And it has since been covered over. And we'll go and have a look to make way for the, I suppose you might call it the town square. However, it is still in use, not just to provide a home for the pigeons, but the locks do work and boats can be seen driving or sailing or whatever they do along it. Just spied a real deli. Sadly, if I'm walking around with my backpack on, anything I buy there will go off by the time I get back home. And it's next to 5 a day, so you know you're not in Glasgow. Oh, up to 1,000 puffs. I hope the woke brigade don't get hold of that one. And here we have the Bohemian Lounge, which is opposite the very, very nice looking Lord Stamford. But more importantly, yes, there's a Spoons. The society rooms, no less. Yippee! Kaye, to quote Bruce Willis. The bistro, healthy cooked fine food, plainly a victim of its own health. Oh, thank goodness. A brand name with a Z at the end instead of an S. I was beginning to lose faith in the lack of spelling ability by people. And there's just a quick look up the pedestrianised section of the town, well, part of it. As I mentioned, a lot of places closed because Monday is closed day. Rod Holdall. I wonder, is there an emu Holdall? Sorry, awful joke. And a view from the other end, but I just wanted to note this very posh looking complex of flats at the top end of the town. Very bohemian and bijou, eh? Why not? Yes, goodness me, Salford Quays living comes to STALYBRIDGE at the foot of the Pennines. It seems to have all gone very Spanishy at this end of the town. I wonder, is there a beach somewhere? This way to Marbella. I'm not going to investigate, but I don't believe this. Real print newspapers in its own Fleet Streety type building? Wow. No, it seems to have been converted into a case of flatulence. And here we have the entrance to the Grade 2 listed Cheetham Park. No alcohol. Control your dog. Clean up after your dog. Quite right too. A lovely bed of mini daffodils. And to prove they are, I'll shove my paw out and you can see they are only small. Is that nasturtium? Ah, don't ask me, I'm not a gardener. As I take an amble up into Cheetham Park before a little sandwich and a coffee, I have no idea why people knock STALYBRIDGE. Seems a nice little town. And as I say, it's on the further extremities of what is Greater Manchester County, but very worth a trip out and having a look, to be quite honest. I'm not going to wander too far up into the park. I mean, a park is a park, but it's so lovely. It's, as I say, 3-4 minutes walk from the centre of the town. Brilliant. Coming to the end of April, some cherry blossom still hanging on in there. Nice bit of colour. And one of many mills you see in the entire region, so to speak, that's been reused for something else just beside the park. As Nigella Lawson would say, Waves, hand car wash. Another little view of the Huddersfield Canal with plenty of Canadian geese enjoying the nearly sunshine. And the view from the other side as we head back into the town of a real gaggle of Canadian geese. I'll be walking past them, but sadly nothing to offer them. A nice typical canal side view. And let's go up and see if we can take our life in our hands and get past these geese without being mugged. Yes, as Gloria Gaynor once sang, I might just survive. I'm being looked at, I'm being given the evil eye. Oh, evil eye. I seem to remember from reading a QI book, I might be wrong, but 50 geese during their lifetime produce 1,500 kilograms of guano. So now you know. I'll have to recheck that. I'll put a little notice up here if I'm actually wrong. And a side view of the market hall, and I missed actually the fact that the clock is so impressive. There seems to be something called the Tame Valley Loop, a cycle thing around, but where it's pointing, I just hope, like myself, you don't suffer from diverticulitis. Oh, the magpie's nest looks interesting. Let's see what's in the window. Oh, very unusual. Hangy and droopy and sticky on the side of things. I'm always quite fond of seeing little greenery areas in towns. This is no exception. Lovely. And for those in the past who have had their pounds stretched, come to STALYBRIDGE and have them completely bust. If you need any stations waxing, this is the place to come. I'm intrigued by number 31 next door. There seems to be the remnants of a sundial here, judging by the numbers, the 2 on that and a 3 on that. And oh look, another of Elon Musk's children, Iv or Ivy, because he's run out of names, as I said in a previous video. And this seems to be a bit of a Manchester commemoration with the Busy Bee. Well, after a nice wander around, it's time to have a sandwich and a little bit of sparkling water to re-energise myself. There you are, folks, opted for a nice Welsh rarebit in the sunshine. Opposite the parish church and the market hall I told you about earlier, which unfortunately is closed because it's Monday. Platinum seems to have given way to rust, unfortunately. And there we go. Short but sweet, my visit to Stalybridge. Hope you enjoyed my little ramble, but it's only a small town, so there's not an awful lot to ramble on about. Hope it was interesting enough, and thank you for watching. Take care now.